As the clock ticks down toward the end of the General Assembly session, legislative leaders are attempting to hammer out a compromise on withholding the release of the Sandy Hook crime scene photos.
Lawmakers from some of the state's largest cities are holding out to have the exception apply to all crime victims and not just the Sandy Hook families. News 8's chief political correspondent Mark Davis joins us live now with the very latest. Mark?
Hi, Keith and Ann. Good evening, everyone, from the Hartford newsroom. As you may recall, the governor had wanted a very narrow piece of legislation covering just the victims of the Sandy Hook shooting. However, that has encountered some strong resistance. Jimmy Green and his wife Nelba Marquez Green, who lost their daughter Anna in the tragedy at Sandy Hook, are spending another long day at the Capitol along with other Sandy Hook families. The attempt to carve out an exemption to the state's Freedom of Information law for the Sandy Hook families and keep crime scene photos from being released just in that case has run into strong opposition. It came from the 25-member Black and Puerto Rican caucus of legislators. They sympathize and have met with the Sandy Hook families, but want the exemption for all families, no matter where they live.
There was a lot of the caucus members that felt that we in our urban centers go through the same situation, a lot of our families, so expanding that to everyone would make a lot more sense.
We are endeavoring to make sure that whatever we do here includes the Sandy Hook families, but also includes those families as well.
The legislative leadership is indicating that they are hearing that message.
Their pain is no different, really. As a parent's pain is no different, and I know that we're going to want to work with them to craft the legislation that will hopefully help them as well.
And the Greens indicated today that would be the right course.
To not only prevent our family from being re-traumatized by the release of these photos, but to help all families in Connecticut that are victims of the violence and the trauma that we've suffered.
If you're a parent and your son or daughter is murdered, that those photos, and only the photos we're talking about, should not be released, because your right to privacy, as our own Supreme Court has said, should trump the public's right to know.
Sources at the state capitol are telling News 8 that there appears to be no broad-based support for suppressing the 911 recordings, but there does appear to be emerging broad support for suppressing crime victim video and still pictures from crime scenes for all victims. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.